accounts and records and e-way bill. In this accounts and records, already we completed accounts and records related concept. Hope you remember that. And now we need to discuss e-way bill. So kindly look into page number 176. This is one small concept, but even then there are some questions asked on that. Okay. So e-way bill. So when the e-way bill should be generated? E-way bill should be generated before movement of goods. What is the purpose of e-way bill? Whenever we are transporting goods from one location to another location, these goods may be unaccounted goods, and unaccounted goods, if they are transporting, no one will pay GST on that. For example, I am seller, you are my buyer, I am just transporting the goods, and for these goods I have not raised invoice and I have not paid any GST, and I will collect it in cash. No one can identify this transaction, correct or not? That's the reason why I need to prepare a e-way bill at the time when I am sending the goods. I need to intimate to the department that I am sending goods from one location to another location, and during the transit there is a proper officer who will stop the vehicle and will check whether these goods are matching with the e-way bill. Okay, otherwise goods will be seized, and even the lorry also will be seized. So that's the reason why e-way bill is very important document which is to be generated. Sir, when it is to be generated? It is to be generated before commencement of movement of goods, not during the movement of goods. Before starting the lorry we need to generate, and this is applicable only for goods. It is to be generated before movement of goods. Whether for all goods e-way bill is required? No, only for taxable goods. For exempted goods e-way bill is not required. It is not applicable in case of exempted goods, and it is also not applicable if the value of goods including GST and excluding exempted supplies does not exceed 50,000. For example, if the value is 55,000, e-way bill is required. If the value is 45,000, e-way bill is optional, not required. If you want to generate, you can generate. Sir, generally while computing GST, like when computing value, so we need to include GST or exclude GST. Generally we need to exclude GST. But here for e-way bill purpose, value includes GST. A very important point. Value includes GST. Value includes GST. So therefore, if the value is 48,000 plus GST 18%, so 48 plus 18% means it goes beyond 50,000. So e-way bill is necessary. But there are two goods for which e-way bill is not at all required. E-way bill is always required even if the value does not exceed 50,000. What are those two goods? Goods sent on job work and handicrafts. These two cases, even if the value does not exceed 50,000, e-way bill always necessary. That is job work and goods sent on job work and handicraft goods. Okay. Then, so what if in the invoice there is both taxable supplies and exempted supplies? Take out exempted supplies and see only taxable supplies, add GST and see the value of invoice. If it exceeds 50,000, then e-way bill is applicable for that invoice. Is it clear? Then next, it has two parts. What are the two parts? Part A, that comprises the invoice details. Invoice detail means GSTN of the supplier, GSTN of the recipient, description of the goods, all those things will be there, and reason for transportation. So whether it is transported, so under supply or without supply, those details will be there. And in part B, it comprises of transport details. Transport details means like vehicle number, from where it is transported to which place it is transported, that details will be there. Okay. Now, what is the validity of e-way bill? So once e-way bill is generated, it will have a validity, which means within that time we need to complete the journey. Okay. So how to count the validity? Depending upon the distance, the validity will be counted. The validity will be 1 day for every 200 kilometers or part thereof. Suppose if the distance is 480 kilometers, means how much is the validity? 3 days. First 200 kilometers 1 day, next 200 kilometers 1 day, thereafter 80 kilometers 1 day. So first 3 days will be taken as a validity. In case of over dimensional cargo, what is over dimensional cargo? The tail of the cargo will be very big. Okay, you would have seen over dimensional cargo. So over dimensional cargo wherein big containers, wherein very big, that lot of wheels will be there. And in case of ODC, over dimensional cargo, so it will take lot of time to complete the journey. So due to that reason, for over dimensional cargo, they have given a validity for 1 day for every 20 kilometers or part thereof. So the same 480 kilometers, what will be the validity? 480 divided by 20, 24 days, correct? 24 days is the validity of that e-way bill. So see there, in case of over dimensional cargo or multi-modal transportation in which one leg of the journey is by vessel. So what is that? Up to some distance by roadways, thereafter by railways, thereafter waterways, again by roadways. Because some distances we may not have direct road, we have to go by waterways only. Then in that case, what we need to do? Waterways, the moment we touch waterways, it will take lot of time. So that's why again, 1 day for every 20 kilometers are part thereof. So tell me, what is the validity in case of ODC? ODC means what? Over dimensional cargo, and MMT, multi-mode transportation, where one leg is by vessel. So then the validity will be 1 day for every 20 kilometers are part thereof. In all other cases, it will be 1 day for every 200 kilometers are part thereof. Sir, how this validity will be counted? So once the e-way bill is generated, the validity starts from the midnight of the day it is generated to the midnight of the next day as 1 day. For example, today morning 4 o'clock e-way bill is generated. So today midnight to tomorrow midnight, and again tomorrow midnight to day after tomorrow midnight. Like that the validity will be counted. Okay. So over dimensional cargo or multimodal transportation in which at least one leg involves transportation by ship, 1 day for every 20 kilometers. So say for example, I told you 480 kilometers divided by 20, 24 days. So from today's midnight, even today, suppose like night 11 o'clock if we generate e-way bill, then also today's midnight only. Today anytime it is generated, the validity of the e-way bill will be counted from the midnight of the day when e-way bill is generated, and it will expire always by midnight. For example, e-way bill validity expired on 4th day. So thereafter, what is the time limit within which it should be extended? The validity of e-way bill may be extended within 8 hours from the time of its expiry. So whenever it expires from there within 8 hours, it needs to be extended. Then, so look into some FAQs on e-way bill. So when e-way bill is not required, there are some cases where e-way bill is not required, that is transportation by non-motorized vehicle. Non-motorized vehicle means, so that is bullock cart, horse cart, rickshaw, etc. e-way bill not required. Even goods transported from customs port, airport or air cargo complex. Remember, these are some places which are under the control of customs. What are those places? Port, airport, then next land customs station, container freight station, inland container depot, customs warehouse. These are some places which are under the customs control. Between these places when we are moving, so we are moving goods, anyhow customs control is there. So due to that reason e-way bill is not required. This is second point and third point. So goods transported are under the control of customs. Then transit cargo transported to or from Nepal or Bhutan. Nepal and Bhutan are landlocked countries. So first the goods will originate and it will go to Nepal and Bhutan. So when it goes to Nepal and Bhutan, this particular movement of goods to Nepal and Bhutan, so that will be like called as transit cargo to Nepal and Bhutan. We have an exemption. So any transit cargo to Nepal and Bhutan, any services will be exempted. Even e-way bill also not required. Got it? So both to and fro. So transit cargo transported to or from Nepal or Bhutan. Then movement of goods for Ministry of Defence. Ministry of Defence will be transporting weapons or guns, etc. and all. So that do not require e-way bill. If they generate e-way bill, everyone will know now which lorry they are transporting. We can steal those goods easily. So that's the reason why e-way bill not required in case of defense goods. Then empty cargo containers are being transported. So what is inside that? Nothing. Empty. But the container is goods, na sir. Like that you may argue. That's the reason why e-way bill is not required. There is nothing inside. Then consignor transporting goods to or from between place of business and the weighbridge for a weighment at a distance of 20 kilometers accompanied by a delivery challan. What does it mean? First listen. There is one lorry. That lorry will go to the weighbridge to know the weight of the lorry. Is there anything inside that lorry? No. So e-way bill not required. Again the lorry will come back to the factory, and now the goods will be loaded like metal scrap, iron ore, etc. and all we will load. Again the lorry will go to the weighbridge. Now this particular movement, okay, this particular movement is with goods. So first the lorry went to weighbridge without goods. Next the lorry went to weighbridge with goods. So but it is within 20 kilometers. What? The weighbridge from the factory. So e-way bill not required. What if the weighbridge is beyond 20 kilometers? Definitely e-way bill is required. Got it? Why will they do, sir? Usually loose goods will be there, na, metal scrap and all. So metal scrap, so weighing will be difficult. So what they will do, first they will take the lorry and they do the weight without goods. Then weight of the lorry with goods. The difference will be taken as the weight of the goods. For that purpose they do this. Okay. If it is up to 20 kilometers, distance up to 20 kilometers, e-way bill not required. Point number 8, goods being transported by railways, where the consigner of the goods is the central government, state government or local authority. If government goods are being transported that do not require e-way bill, in which mode? Railways. What is the difference between point number 8 and point number 5? Point number 5 is defense goods in any mode, but 8th point is railways, the goods belonging to any department of the government. Got it? Whereas 9th point, goods specified as exempt from e-way bill requirement in the respective states. So some state wise also there will be some exemptions which are given, because whatever e-way bill provisions that we are learning is interstate e-way bill provisions. The same e-way bill provisions is applicable for intrastate movement also. Got it? So if the question is silent, otherwise interstate e-way bill only we will be learning. Intrastate e-way bill we have separate provisions, sir. Yes, separate provisions are there, and that we will not be learning for exam purpose, because different states may follow different provisions. For example, in Tamil Nadu the limit will be 1 lakh. What we learnt is 50,000, but in Tamil Nadu the limit is 1 lakh, and in Maharashtra it will be 1 lakh, in West Bengal it will be 2 lakhs. So the limits may change. When the limits are changing, so we don't have to remember all those things. You remember only interstate movement. And in question, if they give anything related to the state-wise exemptions, you follow that state-wise exemptions. Then 10th point, transportation of certain specified goods. So these specified goods transported, e-way bill not required. What is that? LPG for supply to household and non-domestic exempted category customers. So which cylinders? That red color cylinders. But the blue color cylinders requires e-way bill. The red color cylinders do not require e-way bill. And other than the dealer of cylinder, even if the dealer is transporting red color cylinders, e-way bill required. So normally we transport, that only. If the dealer is transporting, always e-way bill is required. Then kerosene oil sold under public distribution system, that is for ration shops, e-way bill not required. Then postal baggage, our postal articles are there, Then these two, natural or cultured pearls, then jewelry, goldsmith and silversmith wares. Why these do not require e-way bill? These are costly goods. If they mention which vehicle they are taking, yes, money heist will happen. So for that reason, there is no e-way bill requirement in that case. Is it clear? Next, other than imitation jewelry means covering. Even if they give free also, we don't need that. Okay. So that e-way bill required or not required? Imitation jewelry required. Imitation jewelry e-way bill required. Used personal and household effects. So when we are relocating our house from one location to another location, so we will book a lorry and we will transport the furniture, fixtures, everything that do not require any e-way bill. So these 10 points you need to remember. These are the cases where e-way bill is not required. So mostly in MCQs they will ask, which of the following cases e-way bill is required? Which of the following cases e-way bill not required? Like that they will coin questions. Whether e-way bill is required if the movement of goods is not for supply. Yes. Whether the movement is for supply or without supply, e-way bill is required. Example, we saw job work. When the goods are sent for job work, it is not a supply, because it is not covered under 7(1)(a) for consideration, or it is not permanent transfer or disposal. So it will not come under 7(1)(b). Even then it is supply or not a supply? Not a supply. So not a supply. Goods sent on job work is not a supply. Is it clear? Even then e-way bill is required. Why e-way bill is required? Because it is taxable goods. So yes, irrespective of whether it involves supply or not. Then in that case, what is the document, sir? The document name is delivery challan. Okay. Next, whether that 50,000 limit is for taxable goods or exempted goods? Definitely taxable goods. What if the invoice has both taxable goods and exempted goods? You take out exempted goods and see the taxable goods. If it exceeds 50,000, then e-way bill is applicable. While computing the invoice value, whether GST to be included or excluded? Definitely GST to be included. Now listen, who will generate the e-way bill? Suppose if I am the seller and I am a registered person, I will generate the e-way bill. Suppose if I am unregistered and you are the registered person, then you will generate e-way bill. What if we both are unregistered? the transporter will generate e-way bill. Is it clear? So registered person, e-way bill must be generated when there is a movement of goods more than 50,000. Unregistered persons are also required to generate e-way bill. However, when the supply is made by an unregistered person to a registered person, the receiver will have to ensure all compliances are met. Transporter carrying goods by road or air. Now, suppose if the transporter don't know how to generate e-way bill, either seller or buyer, by enrolling as citizen of India, they can generate the e-way bill. That point is also there, but e-way bill should be generated. Then, suppose if the value of goods does not exceed 50,000, supplier will not generate e-way bill. Like me, there are 10 suppliers who is transporting goods in your lorry. You are the lorry transporter. In your lorry, one lorry, 10 different suppliers are transporting, each value less than 50,000, but cumulative value will be more than 50,000. Then in that case, whether e-way bill will be applicable. So now the lorry driver, that is lorry transporter, for each and every consignment, they need to generate e-way bill. Why supplier will not generate? Because the value does not exceed 50,000. So the transporter will generate for each and every consignment. Consolidating all these consignments, they will generate a consolidated e-way bill also. See there. Transporter should generate the e-way bill as form EWB1 or EWB2, where all the consignments in the conveyance individually, that is each invoice or delivery challan is less than or equals to 50,000, but in aggregate means cumulatively it exceeds 50,000. And blocking of e-way bill, whether e-way bill should be like always mandatory, but sometimes e-way bill will be blocked. Blocked means what? It cannot be generated. In which case, if I am not filing returns for consecutive 2 tax periods, so e-way bill cannot be generated if the return GSTR1 or 3B or CMP8 is not filed for 2 consecutive tax periods, or e-way bill generation facility is blocked only with respect to outward movement of goods. Means what? So if I am not filing returns, my outward supplies only I cannot generate e-way bill, but for my inward supplies, can the e-way bill be generated? Yes. So e-way bill generation facility is blocked only with respect to outward movement by a registered person who has not filed returns. However, e-way bill can be generated in respect of inward supplies of the said registered person. Is it clear? Next, other points you see, generally bill to ship to transactions are there. In place of supply chapter we discussed. I am raising invoice to you, you are my billing address, but I deliver the goods to a third person. That is known as bill to ship to. Now again you will raise invoice to the shipping address, na? Correct or not? Even though there are 2 supplies, but there is only one movement. So how many e-way bills are required? One e-way bill is only required. In case of bill to ship to transaction, one e-way bill is sufficient and it can be generated either by consignor or by the consignee. Then multi-vehicle updation is possible in e-way bill. What is multi-vehicle updation means? Up to some distance in one vehicle, thereafter the remaining distance in another vehicle. So in that case, so we don't have to generate a new e-way bill, same e-way bill in part B. So we will just update the vehicle number. Okay, we'll change the vehicle number. So that is possible. And part B should be updated within 15 days from updation of part A. What does it mean? For example, I added the part A details, invoice details, means a vehicle should start. What is the time limit within which vehicle should start? Within 15 days from the part A gets updated. Otherwise the e-way bill will expire and again new e-way bill we need to generate. Is it clear? Next. So this is not validity. First, e-way bill itself is not generated. E-way bill itself is not generated. To generate the e-way bill, we need to add part B. What is the time limit to add part B? They have given. Got it? Then e-way bill should be accepted by the recipient within 72 hours of its generation. So I generated the e-way bill. You are my recipient. You should accept or reject it. If you are accepting it, which means I have made sale to you. You understood? If you are rejecting it, which means I have not made sales to you. Means I made sale to some other person, but I am raising invoice to you. You got it? So that's why e-way bill should be accepted within 72 hours from its generation or delivery of goods, whichever is earlier. Then part B, who can update? Either supplier. If I am sending in my vehicle, I know the vehicle number. If you are arranging the vehicle, you know the vehicle number. Or if we give to transporter, the transporter will enter the vehicle number. So part B may be updated either by supplier or recipient or transporter. Then what are the documents required in case of movement of goods? Whenever there is movement of goods, we need to check whether it is taxable goods or exempted goods. If it is taxable goods, always e-way bill is required. If it is under supply, tax invoice plus e-way bill. If it is without supply, delivery challan plus e-way bill. If it is exempted goods, again divide into two. Under supply, bill of supply. Without supply, it will be delivery challan. And e-way bill can be cancelled. What is the time limit within which e-way bill can be cancelled? Within 24 hours of its generation, if such conveyance is not verified by the proper officer. Understood? So e-way bill can be cancelled within what time, yeah? 24 hours of its generation. If such conveyance is not verified by the proper officer, what does it mean? Say I generated the e-way bill, but my customer cancel. Usually you place the order in Amazon. I pack the product and I will be ready for shipment. Then you may decide, okay, I don't want the product, and you will cancel. Now, can I cancel the e-way bill? Yes, I can cancel, but within 24 hours. Thereafter, I cannot cancel. I need to deliver the product. Then like sales returns, I need to raise a credit note and I need to cancel the transaction. Got it? So this is with respect to, e-way bill provisions that we have completed. Okay.